Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Detutu. If you're new here, you're welcome. My name is Detutu, just like I said, and on my channel I share information about the lifestyle and experiences of international students in Europe. So please consider subscribing, liking, sharing the information with your friends and family or neighbors, as the case may be. And if you're returning, I appreciate you sticking by me. Please subscribe, it's free, you don't have to pay a dime for that. So yeah, in the last video that I posted last week, Sunday, I asked a question that if you'd like me to either shoot a video about two topics, and you chose this particular one. Firstly, I'm going to talk about employment contracts, and then I'm going to talk about other types of contracts that are available. Firstly, let's talk about the employment contracts. I'll be working full-time, part-time, or on a mini job basis. If you're working full-time, that is between 35 to 40 hours per week, and part-time is 20 hours a week. Most students do this 20 hours a week. That is the work student job, right? And that allows you to only work 20 hours a week, but you're permitted to work unlimited hours during the holidays, which is between 2 to 3 months after every semester. So you can work as much as you want. Some students do not work at all during the semester and decide to just work full-time or unlimited hours during the holiday. You have to decide what works best for you, right? When you're working as a work student, you actually pay income taxes. You can do a tax return after a year or anytime you want to do it to get your money back, so that's fine. For a mini job, you work only 10 hours a week, and the maximum amount that you can get is 450 euros per month. Okay, here you don't pay anything. You don't pay taxes, you don't pay social security, you don't pay anything for insurance, nothing like that. So all the money you earn is for you and you alone. You should always translate every contract you get, because most of them are usually in German. Okay, so what you want to do is to make sure that you have an understanding of what the contract says, so you don't get yourself into something that would complicate matters in the future. Firstly, you want to know your start date. You want to know how much you're earning per hour. You want to know if it's a limited contract or an unlimited contract. If it's a limited contract, sometimes it could be for 6 months, it could be for 1 year, but if it's unlimited, you can work for as long as you want. You also want to know your probationary periods. For some companies it's 6 months, for some it's 2 months, for some it's 3 months. Just make sure you're specific about, not specific, just make sure that you know when your probation period ends. During the probation, is it the probation period or the probationary period? Ich weiß nicht. I'm going to use the probation period for the rest of this video because it makes more sense now. So during the probation period, the employer and the employee can decide to terminate the contract after a 2-month period. That is standard. Okay, so if after a while, after 1 month, you're not feeling the job, you don't like the working environment, or you're not comfortable working with your fellow employees, or there's something you just don't like, or maybe you got another opportunity that's way better than what you're doing right now. Okay, what you can do is to give a 2 weeks notice to your employer. Don't just go, right? You have to give a 2 weeks notice. Okay, then after the probation period has lapsed, you then have to give a 1 month notice, standard. Okay, don't forget that. Also remember to check if you have holidays. If you're working without a contract, it's called Schwarzarbeit. This is a short story about Schwarzarbeit. Thankfully, I did not get in trouble for it, okay? But this is something that I think it's important for people to know. Never work without a job contract. If the person, the employer, whoever, the agency is not willing to give you a job contract, a contract to seal the deal, do not work, except if you want to volunteer. Volunteering is completely different, okay? I did not know this. This was about a year after I arrived in Germany, and I got this job that required me to arrange items on the shelf of a particular store. It's a big store. I'm not going to mention the store on here. It's very popular in Germany. It's well known. It's in every city. So I was told that they are willing to employ me, but my fellow employee would show me the things I need to do on the first day, and then afterwards I can do the job on my own. Okay, so I accepted. I went there. The first day I asked them, how about my contract? They said they'll give me the second day. Mind you, this job required me to wake up very early because the things had to be arranged before people started trooping in around 8 o'clock or so. Or is it 7? I don't even remember. It's either 7 or 8. So that means I know that I always had to be there around 5:30, right? 5:30, because I was working 2 hours 30 minutes in the morning. So I was doing that. So I had to wake up very early. I mean, I was losing my sleep. I had to always catch the first bus. I worked for 1 whole week. So every single day that I went to work, from Monday through Friday, I kept on asking. The only day I remember not asking was probably, I think, on Wednesday or so, because they said, okay, they'll give it to me on Friday. I never got the contract, but I was working for free. And as a Niger babe, I was serious. I was, okay, let's do this job and get it done and stuff. Okay. Only for Friday to come, I missed the first bus. I had to run to another stop to get to work. And anyway, I was about 15 minutes late, right? Like, nobody spoke to me about me being late or anything. I got there, I worked, and I went back home. Around 11 a.m. I got a call from the agency that, yeah, I got to work late, and because of that they cannot give me a contract. I said, okay, but it's not a problem. I don't mind you guys not giving me a job, okay? Just pay me for the hours I worked. They're like, okay, they'll get back to me. Till today, I have not gotten anything. I kept on calling them. I kept on sending them messages. I did not hear anything back from them. It got to a stage, you know what? I just said, I give up. There is no point stressing. I'll just accept it as something that happened to me, and I'm hoping that somebody learns from this my experience, because it's not something, as in every single time I think about it, it's not something I'm happy about, because I could have been sleeping, I could have been resting in my house, I could have been goofing around, I could have been doing something else that would add value to my life than going to work for somebody and not getting paid for it. So apparently that thing I did is actually categorized as Schwarzarbeit, because I'm working without a contract and it's illegal. Okay, and because it's illegal, the person who employs me can do whatever they want. They can decide to, I mean, like this case, they decided to terminate the whole contract that did not even exist. Like, they can just say, on one day, we don't need your services anymore, you guys can go home, and that's the end. There's nothing. You can't take it to court, you can't do anything. But if you have a contract and you feel you're discriminated against, or you feel that you've been wrongly terminated from your employment, you can actually go to a court to sort it out. Any employment, whatever the employment, mini job, full-time, part-time, have a contract. Okay, always have a contract. Don't say I did not tell you. Always have a contract. Okay, on your contract there's also a distinction between Brutto and Netto. So for Brutto, it means before tax, okay, and Netto means after tax. But if you Google translate the whole document, I know it's a lot of pages, but it will save you the trouble, it will save you the stress or the confusion that may happen if you do not understand what kind of agreement you're getting yourself into. So always try to translate it. I've had a colorful experience with contracts in Germany, to be honest. I am the same person who had an issue with employment contracts. I'm also the same person who had an issue with a business contract, like a contract with a business provider or a service provider, as you may. Yeah, a service provider. What happened was that the person who helped me fill the contract at the store I went to is also a well-known service provider that I'm not going to mention, okay? And they were like, the information this man filled in was wrong. My phone number was wrong, and they usually call you to tell you that a technician is coming. I did not receive a call. The technician did not come to my house, and they claimed the technician came to my house. So I called them, and the issue at the time was that there was nobody at the time who could speak English to help me. So I was struggling to understand what they were saying, and I was struggling to have a conversation with them, or a reasonable conversation with them at the time. So what happened was, there was nobody to help with the language. I was living alone. I just moved into a new city, so my 2-year contract at the former town had ended, and because I didn't have any issue with their service, it did not make sense to opt for another service provider, right? So I decided, okay, I'm going to start a new contract with them, not knowing that it was going to be a disaster. So I initiated this contract in October. I did not get an appointment for a technician until around November. Technician did not come. I was trying to sort it out. Nobody came for a whole month up until December. At this time, it was a new semester. I had a deadline on the 9th of December. So every single day I had to go to university to use Wi-Fi. Fine, the university was not very far, but it was stressful because I could have been doing these things in the comfort of my own house, okay? But I was always in the university. I did a mobile data plan, but it did not last long as expected because you were using it to do so many things. So what happened next? I told them, okay, you know what, you guys, I even called them on the phone. I called them on 2 occasions that I was really emotional, that I was crying. The woman was just like, she's very sorry, there's nothing she can do, blah blah. Like, okay, you know what, you guys, I've had enough. I don't like stress, okay? I don't like stress at all. So I just decided, you know what, you guys can keep your contract, you guys can keep your Wi-Fi. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to offer another one. So I went to another service provider, and within a couple of weeks, by January, I got everything fixed and I had Wi-Fi. But these people did not cancel the contract, because according to them, I signed a contract. It's going to run for 2 years, whether I like it or not. I told them no. There was a contract, and the agreement was that you people would come to my house to fix it, to fix my Wi-Fi, and there will be no problem. You people should also understand the fact that I have been using your service for 2 whole years and there was no problem. So why is it that now that I renewed my contract with you guys, there is something happening? By the way, most universities have a legal services section or department at the international office or with ASTA that can advise you on things to do when you have certain legal issues, whatever legal issue you might have. Check at your university and they would help you. It's free, you don't have to pay anything. It's a free service for students, international or natives. You're free. It's free, rather, it's free. Yeah, so I went there and he said, okay, maybe I should that there's really nothing that can be done because it runs for 2 years. And if I had known, I should have cancelled the contract 2 weeks into the beginning of the contract. I did not know that. If you sign a contract and after 1 week, you're not really comfortable with how everything is going, okay? You have 1 more week to cancel that contract and you'll be justified. You don't have to pay anything after that. You can cancel the contract 14 days, 2 weeks after you sign the contract. After that, the contract has to run for the whole time. So what I did was I sent a letter with evidence, email responses, the contract date, phone conversations, the old contract and the new contract, the communications I've had. It took a while for them to get back to me. But during this time, every month I wasn't paying that fee. They were adding some charges to it, like a charge for not paying on time. So if you don't pay fees at a particular time, they charge you extra. I think it was €2.39 per month. So I wasn't paying it. So you know what I did? In the letter I wrote, I told them, you know what, I'm willing to pay till the end of the first year. The second year, I'm not going to pay anything because this is a problem from your end, not my end. Okay, if your technician came, I would not have had this issue in the first place. Thankfully, as God will have it, they agreed that I don't have to pay anything anymore. They did and said, okay, I should make the payment up until this month, and then afterwards I don't have to pay a dime anymore. So that's exactly what happened in that case. And I've wasted money in this Germany, but anyway. Anyway, moving on swiftly. for watching this video. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with everybody. So yeah, thank you very much again. I appreciate you watching this video to the end. Please subscribe. Again, please subscribe. It's completely free. You don't have to pay a dime. I'd really appreciate it. If you have anybody who is interested in sharing their stories on my channel, you can ask them to send me an email. I'm particularly looking for professionals who came here as students and have been able to progress professionally into their respective fields. It doesn't matter how long you've been employed, but I'd really appreciate it to reach out to you, or for you to reach out to me, so that we can fix a mutually convenient time to have a conversation about your experience so far. You could have been working professionally for maybe 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, because I'm really particular about the people who have been here for the long term, like people who have been in Germany for maybe 10 years who are now working professionally in their respective fields. If you know anyone like that, please reach out to me, or reach out to them first, then reach out to me if they agree to have a conversation with me. Thank you very much. Till my next video, take good care of yourselves. Bye.